Now, Kenya has a lot of potential when it comes to the tourism industry, and the ministry is now wading into uncharted territory in the central region to grow the industry in the country. Raquel Muigai spoke to the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Najib Balala, on his plans to expand the sector. Let's listen in.
Thank you so much, Akisa. We're here at the Solio Lodge in Nyeri County, just getting to look at some of the events that have been taking place today. We did have the CS for Tourism, Najib Balala, being here as elephants were being translocated from this particular region to a different, to Savo, to just get to sort out the issue of human conflict that has been there in the recent past, especially the residents state that in the last 3 years they have been having invasions by the elephants and other wildlife into their farms, destroying their crops, and therefore this particular exercise will enable them to at least have some rest and at least have food in their stores, given that it has been a rough 3 years for them. And it's a major step by the government to ensure that these people get to have at least a secure environment, even to just sort out and be able to reduce the human-wildlife conflicts that there has been in the recent past. But right now I'm joined by the CS, Najib Balala, who's just going to give us more exactly on the tourism situation in the country and why the central region in specific. Thank you so much for joining us here on KTN News. Central region has been on your map now that you've been able to come here and do this kind of exercise. Are there any other plans probably to ensure that the rest of the country gets to enjoy this particular exercise?
Well, the central region has suffered a lot because of the invasion of the wildlife into farms and also other areas, not only the central region, but the damage here is so huge. That's why we decided to do this relocation plan. We have done relocation of elephants from here to other areas. So the last time we did it was 2012. That's why in the last 3 years there has been a major damage by elephants in farms. Normally we relocate these elephants from here to other vast areas. And the vast area now we have is the northern side of Savo, which is the southern side of Kitui. That is an area which is empty, that is an area which is also fenced, and that's an area where it's not very close to farmers. And that's a place where we can take the elephants. Savo National Park and the ecosystem is 42,000 square kilometers. And previously, Savo could handle 35,000 elephants. Now what it has, the stocks in Savo is 12,000. So you could see still there's space for elephants to come to Savo. So we want to address this because people are suffering. And also this is an area that we have identified as an upmarket tourist destination. If we can encourage communities and also farmers to appreciate wildlife, to see the benefit of wildlife, to open up corridors, and I want to congratulate the leadership here. Is very committed to open this corridor, so there's no problem between Mount Kenya and Aberdare. So that's why I'm here encouraging them, but also doing this relocation program.
There's also been a major outcry on the part of the community asking whether they will be compensated. Is there probably a plan by the administration to just look out into this matter?
The biggest damage here has happened is on crops and farms. Nothing, I don't have any records right now, or I don't know of any right now of death. The focus of compensation will be done on death. It's a very huge amount of money. It's complicated, but we have committed and we have it in our budget 612 million Kenya shillings this coming financial year. So the minute we get that money, we'll do the processes and we'll clear those bills.
Let's talk about tourism in the country. There has been a political back and forth play in the recent past. Probably, where do we stand as a country in terms of tourism?
Well, tourism has done well. It's a resilient sector. It's managed to survive even during the difficult time of 2017 of the prolonged elections. We have had a 10% growth in 2017 and a 20% growth in revenue from 98 billion Kenya shillings to 120 billion Kenya shillings. We're optimistic now. In the next 5 years, I'm optimistic. We have a clear strategy to raise the numbers from 1.5 5 million arrivals to 2.5 million arrivals. So that is our strategy. We have just launched our new national blueprint 2030, so we want to start executing it and benefit. And the key is that tourism is not moved by government. Government only bring the conducive atmosphere. So government has invested heavily in security, heavily in infrastructure. Government has given incentive in refurbishment of hotels and also the construction of new hotels. That's why you see new hotels coming in Nairobi. We want these hotels also to expand to the rest of the country, as far as upcountry and the beach destinations. But much more is the private sector. And we want the private sector to think out of the box and start developing products that are unique, but put a lot of innovation in this product. And I see this Solio Ranch here, Solio Lodge, which is a beautiful, unique product, very expensive to come here, but that is what the client wants. So I want to encourage the private sector. I know most of them are working hard, particularly in Nairobi, because new products have come in Nairobi. But the rest of the country, we need more innovative products to come in.
And probably you can also tell us about what are the major incentives that you've put in place to at least market Kenya internationally on a global stage, and to just that will get to shed away the political mess probably that has been there.
Well, the political mess will be solved by ourselves if we tone down our political rhetorics. Again, if we deal with each other on a civilized way, even if we go demonstration on the streets or we picket, we need to be civilized. And democracy is noise-making. And we have chosen democracy as the best way of governance. So I'm not worried about democracy. I'm worried about security. And I can assure you that's why tourism is rebounding back, is because the government has invested heavily in security and infrastructure. But the most important thing is that we need 3 fundamental pillars to make tourism work. One is security, which we worked on it. Second is infrastructure. Third is accessibility to the destination. So we need to make sure that Kenya Airport and Jomo Kenyatta International Airport is efficient, seamless. That's why we have been recently at the airport. Secondly, we have all airlines accessing Kenya, because those are the airlines that bring people into the country. And the fourth, which is overarching, is to package and to market this country internationally. We have allocated 1.4 billion Kenya shillings to Kenya Tourism Board the coming financial year.
Thank you so much. Really great plans there to just be able to market Kenya and ensure that it is a tourism destination that it has always been. Thank you so much, Waziri. Akisa, as you've heard the CS stating, Najib Balala stating, that they're doing a lot more, not only to try and paint the picture on a global perspective, that Kenya not only is having, despite the political mess that has been there, Kenya still serves as the best destination place, allocating at least 1.4 billion shillings to the Kenya Tourism Board to at least get to focus on more, because as he says, tourism does not only depend on itself, but it's an economy, it's a part of the country's economy that largely depends on the security and the infrastructure as well as the accessibility in the country. Back to you, Akisa.
Raquel Muigai.